Yippee! How you doing, good sir? I'm sorry for barging in like this, but we've been gone for a while, and there is much to do. I won't dwell on the unpleasantries too long. Just know that I had some issues with my health, some issues with my current living situation, and issues with starting a new job that led me to not be able to work on the channel. So, although I did say that the Clock Tower 3 video was going to be the next video that was going to go up, we're going to put that one on the back burner for a couple of videos so I can do the script justice, and we're going to move on to something a little easier to just throw together and have a good time with. So it required just a little bit of thought on my end. I mean, I grew up in a Nintendo household. We pretty much only got games like once a year based on what, as a group, we voted on. So I figured it might be nice to actually dive into like another company. So I figured I'd check out what offerings Sega had over the years that I missed out on.
Don't do that, sweetheart. It's dangerous.
No, wait. Well, go on.
I will. I don't need to ask permission to have a good time. Watch me go.
Yeah. Bet you're not going to do that again now, are you?
Yeah, I might have picked the wrong one to start off with here, but nevertheless, I'm Brodery, and this is Zombies Revenge. So our story opens up with us exiting a military vehicle and immediately engaging in some fisticuffs with the local zombie population.
Like a man.
And you might be wondering
how I ended up in this situation.
Well, it's just your classic case of boy, girl, and Yakuza like a dragon badass type joining forces to bring down a major evil in the world. This brings them to the warehouse district in Area Q in search of a floppy disk after receiving a passive-aggressive message from Zed. And after a quick investigation of the area, we come across a WMPH hiding out in a factory. We take the opportunity to save her from zombies with and receive a floppy disk for our troubles. Now, we could escort her to safety like we probably should, but hey, mission priorities are mission priorities, so we leave her to fend for ourselves and we move on. Too bad we wouldn't get too far before we got ambushed by a trash zombie. This monstrosity burst into the scene ready to tear our heads off, so we quickly send it back to the trash pile from which it came, head down a shady alley, and kick down a door so we can access our floppy disk in somebody's office. Oops, wrong floppy. There we go, all better. The golden eye that gave the WMPH the floppy disk appears and claims not to be our enemy?
You serious?
So the not remotely fooling anybody bad guy has us choose a card and then laughs at us for choosing our fate. And without making any effort to find a less smelly, less dangerous route, we decide to follow the map giving us to the not evil but totally evil guy and jump immediately into the sewers. Using the appropriate amount of lethal force after catching a couple of zombie loogies to the eyes, they make their way through the sewers until they run into an ambush. Suddenly, rubble began to fall as a pair of bio-twins leaped down from the ceiling. They wanted to make us part of their sewer plant tentacle play, but we were having none of it. At least on the first date. Tentacle play is really a 4th or 5th date ordeal. Or so I've heard.
Talk about dodging bullets.
Nothing to see here. Keep it moving. Keep it moving now, people. And after a few well-timed shots, we continue our way through the sewer when we notice a bunch of turtle daddies fleeing a pipe. After investigating the pipe, we come across a service elevator that should take us to the surface, but before we can get on board, we get interrupted by a species knockoff. She attempts to make us but we prove that bullets are mightier than lightning and we put her down. Not now, Pikachu. We have no time for this debate again. There are lives that need saving. So after ascending up the elevator, we end up in a factory of some sort where we are surrounded by zombies once again. Once dealt with, we find a dying man who informs us that the building that we are currently in is set to blow. So we fight our way outside where we run into the man with the golden eye and he ends up being the bad guy. Shocker. But still a bit too early for Zed's Bond villain monologue, so he sicks this monstrosity on us as he makes his escape.
Open your mind!
Once dealt with, the factory begins to explode around us, so we get to the chopper with a +1, might I add, but we quickly give him the boot. Because we have a train to catch. We find out that Zed has plans on releasing the virus by crashing a train that's full of the bad. So we land and fight our way to the front of the train where a she-devil attempts to get the drop on us. But we quickly ground her because it's a no-fly zone and we head inside to hit the e-brake and bring the train to a safe stop at the station. So we go ahead and fight our way through the train station security, finding our way into a room that's literally oozing from the walls in the process. But what could be behind this? A disgruntled Slimer? A TGRI containment breach? No. It's whatever the hell this thing is.
I'm disgusted and repulsed and I can't look away.
But we do end up managing to take down the zombie-tongued alien queen snot monster just in time to run into our nemesis once again. He floats down like a DBZ antagonist and decides to declare that all humanity must die, especially Stick.
I'm sorry, what did you say his name was? That was his real name. Jesus fucking Christ.
Oh yeah, zero fucks given when naming that child. But terrible names aside, Zed's out to punish Stick for the sins of his parents with a little zombie revenge. But not immediately though. No. Vengeance is best served with
nice Chianti.
So clearly, not being in a hurry to extract his vengeance right there on the spot, he knocks him out with some knockout gas and takes him on a nice little trip through the country. We end up waking up in the middle of nowhere, but don't bother asking us how we got here because the game don't bother telling us. I think it's implied that we were in a car crash, but there's no time to really think about that right now because we need to find Zed. So we skip and punch our way through the forest past Grandma's house till we run into an iron gate and are forced to face down with the gatekeeper, who is apparently an adult tum-tum who grew up, got jacked, ended up being assimilated by a Borg at some point during his life. But hey, at least he's got a little Borg buddy to keep him company when he takes on too much damage.
What a comical pair you two are.
Once we take down the little guy and Tum Tum dramatically faints, we gain access through the iron gate and we head right in. So we pass through the gate, cut across the courtyard, see some zombies playing in the pool, avoid the local wildlife, break our way into the mansion and interrupt. And I'm not 100% sure what we're interrupting here, but we end up killing everything anyways, make our way upstairs into a dark corridor.
It's a trap!
We end up having to face off with a regular hothead, but we finish him off quickly because we need to get to our showdown with the Nosferatu Titan. But the bigger they are, the harder they fall. We now find ourselves facing off with Zed once again. But this time he's become quite the chatty fellow, deciding to spill the beans on why he's doing what he feels has to be done. Apparently, the government wanted to use the undead as weapons, killing off all the lead scientists, including Zed's parents. Parents that just so happened to have been killed by Stick's parents.
Crisscross. What a twist!
And if that wasn't bad enough, Gil used Zed's parents in his experiments. But Zed will have his vengeance by destroying all humans and creating a world of the dead. Seems like a bit of an overreaction.
Oh, Gil's in a lot of trouble.
But in a fit of rage, Zed uses his powers to collapse the floor, sending us tumbling down into an elevator shaft heading straight into an underground lab, where we once again face off against the species hybrid and the Borg buddies before we get to engage in our final confrontation with Zed. Zed floats down with all the grace of Iron Man, puts up a little bit of a fight before showing us his final form. But I'm sorry to break this to you, Zed, yeah, Jen wore to look better. But you don't have to worry about that for too long because our heroes literally gunned down your Lord of Destruction ass and are teleported to
The middle of nowhere.
where we get picked up at a magical chopper that had no issue finding us
It's in the middle of nowhere.
and to head out to their next assignment, bringing the story to an end and leaving me wondering, why the hell couldn't they just make this like the other House of the Dead games? I'm all for game companies trying new things with their properties. I mean, sometimes it works out well like Resident Evil 7 and 8, but my god, this was just a misfire. I mean, going from a light gun shooter to a beat 'em up just seems like a little too much of an ambitious like move. I honestly think if you want to do something different, you probably could have got away with a Resident Evil style tank shooter around that time, but yeah, I just couldn't see myself actually pumping quarters into this if I would have played this or seen this in the arcade when I was younger. And that's come from me. My eyes lit up the few times I actually got to go to an arcade when I was a kid, whenever I saw a House of the Dead cabinet. But if I had saw this, not only would I not have realized that it was part of the House of the Dead franchise, but I probably would have just kept on walking, which is something I probably should have did when I saw this icon pop up on the list of horror games from that generation. And even though I didn't have traditional means of playing the game, I did manage to play through it 3 or 4 times to make sure that I was experiencing all the game had to offer. Now, obviously, for the story recap, we played as Stick because he clearly was meant to be the main character, but for my first playthrough of the game, I played as Linda for science reasons, rounding off of Riki in the end just to make sure there was nothing I was missing story-wise. And from what I could tell, really the only thing that changed between the 3 characters was the very first cutscene when you get jumped. Gameplay-wise, there's a bit more variety, but it's barely even noticeable. I mean, some of the combinations might be a little bit different, but honestly, you might be too bored to even notice. I mean, even when they're trying to do something interesting, like the way you jump back to your feet, like, or fall backwards and continue to shoot like you're out of a John Woo film, seems to come up a little bit short. I mean, at least have some decency to add some dubs when you're going to pull something like that. I mean, where are my goddamn dubs, Mr. Bruce? But I'm getting a bit off topic here. Let's get back on track by discussing the bosses. None of which really, honestly, were very good. Some had some decent character designs, but yeah, and I realized that they were a product of their time, but none of them were particularly challenging. I mean, really, the only reason the final boss gives you issue is because he won't quit flying around the map. Fighting the boss just felt like fighting any other enemy in the game. Just punch, 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 kick, 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 shoot, shoot, shoot until they die. All the weapons felt mediocre also. Every time I found one that got me excited, I ended up just being like, that was it? The handgun's pretty much the only thing you really need to get through the game, and it's honestly the easiest way to beat the game. You get so much ammo for the damn thing, and all the other guns run out of ammo so quickly, it just seems like a hassle to use anything but it. And as far as the beat 'em up like stuff, it was so freaking boring. I have nothing good to say about it. It's just repetitive button mashing with a few combos here and there. I just can't help but to feel if they would have stuck with the traditional House of the Dead gameplay, yeah, it would have been more of the same, but it would have been a lot better of an experience overall. Story-wise, it's not much better. I mean, I get that back then stories and arcade cabinets wasn't a top priority, but considering that they were making this to add to the lore, it just wasn't very good. I mean, on a player-by-player basis, not everybody who approaches this arcade cabinet would have actually been able to piece everything together. In fact, most people would have just been able to take the story that was given to them, which honestly wasn't even a very good story. I mean, all in all, it's a pretty forgettable experience. I mean, it really should not have been the first one I jumped into from Sega, but from what I hear, Sega's actually got some decent little games from the past to go and check out in the horror genre, and I'm looking forward to trying them out because you really can't get much worse than Zombies Revenge. Normally, I'd say go and try it for yourself if you really want to, and honestly, if you want to, go right ahead. You might enjoy what I did not. Either way, that's all I had to offer in this video today. I just really wanted to get one out there quickly. Like I said before, I want to do the Clock Tower 3 video here soon. I definitely have a comparison video in VR that I want to do also coming up. There's stuff in the pipeline. It's just finding the free time right now to do it all. It's become a major challenge in my current life standing. So those of you who subscribe and stick around, thank you so much. This is honestly something I enjoy doing as a little hobby and look forward to watching it grow over time. And I hope you do as well. But until next time, you guys take care and take it easy. Oh, and before we go, just so you all know I'm not a heartless bastard. Yeah, the lady we left back in the factory, turns out she was a bad guy. Yeah, a little unsure why that bit of information was end of credit noteworthy, but hey, yeah, it proves that I was justified in leaving her ass behind.
Help me!
I didn't hear nothing.